The Biden family was paid millions of dollars by foreign entities. Biden himself received payments disguised as loans. The family used shell companies to hide the transactions, and they lied about it all. That is why he was pardoned, covering 11 years. I know this pardon infuriated so many people, yourself included. What did you think when you first saw this?
Well, listen, I think the thing that was most jarring was the 11-year period that covers the pardon. And it is a full and unconditional pardon, not just on the 2 convictions that Hunter Biden faced, but covering the entire time span that was being investigated by the House Oversight Committee with respect to the foreign dollars that were pouring into the Biden family. And remember, Joe Biden stood on stage in 2020 and denied outright that his family ever received a single cent from China. And that was false. That was a lie. And he knew it to be a lie, and yet he declared it definitively to the American people. And I think the fact that he is covering 11 years is really the most jarring aspect of the pardon. Anybody can understand a father wanting to protect his son. That in and of itself does not surprise me. Obviously, he lied to the American people when he said he was not going to pardon his son. But, you know, if anyone was truly surprised by this, they were living under a rock.
Yeah, and I don't think any of us were surprised. Again, he wanted to pardon his own child. We had Judge Andrew Napolitano on earlier, but he said usually pardons are for specific crimes, a specific sentence. As you said, this was an 11-year blanket pardon. You don't see that. The last time we saw something of this size was, of course, Richard Nixon. It's remarkable. And
by the way, that covered his time period as president of the United States. Hunter Biden is not president of the United States.
Yes. Yeah, you make a great point. And I just wonder what kind of precedent this sets. And now we're seeing many of your Democrat counterparts saying that this puts family over country. And that's not a good look, Congressman.
Well, especially after the sanctimonious lectures that we all endured over the last few years about Democrats protecting democracy and Republicans being fascists and the greatest threat to the Constitution. The fact is, Joe Biden, on his way out the door, pardoned his son, who was convicted of multiple crimes, including tax evasion. And, you know, when you look at the foreign money that poured into the Biden family, $24 million funneled through 20 shell companies, including money that ultimately made its way through Jim and Sarah Biden's bank account to Joe Biden. So there are a lot of questions still to be answered. And frankly, Hunter Biden, now that he is completely precluded from facing any prosecution, is likely to face subpoena and have to answer questions related to these business dealings, and can't hide behind the Fifth Amendment and the right to avoid self-incrimination.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I want to ask you, before I let you go, about this news coming out of your state of New York. Vivek Ramaswamy, who is set to help lead the Department of Government Efficiency under Trump, shredding New York after a new report found that the city of New York paid $220 million to rent the entire Roosevelt Hotel to house illegal migrants. Of course, the Roosevelt Hotel owned by the government of Pakistan as well. What's your reaction to this?
It's really just quite stunning. New York State has handled this entire situation disastrously. Kathy Hochul has supported New York's sanctuary state status, the city of New York, a sanctuary city. They refuse to cooperate with immigration and customs officials. New reports show 58,000 criminal migrants are currently living in New York City. It's absolutely outrageous. Billions of dollars of taxpayer money have been spent to provide free housing, clothing, food, education, and health care to illegal immigrants. Meanwhile, Kathy Hochul is charging the average New Yorker $2,500 just for the privilege to drive into New York City for work. It is disgraceful. It needs to be reversed. And New York needs to stop wasting taxpayer money to house illegal immigrants, period.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.